Hi, I'm Amy. This is your sewing room solution. How many times have you tried to hem those welts in those blue jeans? It kills us all. It doesn't matter if you have a $100 machine or a $10,000 machine. It's still a difficult thing to do. I have a couple tips for you that may help you get through that tough thing. Now, my family comes to me and says, can you hem? And I say, I don't hem. And they all laugh because they know when you have a room full of machines, you have to know how to hem. So here I mocked up just a kind of a welt seam that you would have in your jeans. We know kind of like Levi's are probably the toughest. My family are Carhartt wearers, and it's kind of the same ordeal. There's a couple tips. It's going to make things simple and easy for you. The first thing you're going to do is invest in a pack of denim jean needles. These are size 100s. They make size 110s. They make 90s. I usually go for a 100. A 110 is really, really huge. And I always start my jeans with a brand new project. And if I take it out, I do save it. So if I start a new pair of hem, I put the old one in first, and if something happens to it, then I pop in a new one. So it's good to have a couple packs of these around. And then those of you who have been sewing a long time like I have, like before dinosaurs roamed the earth, this is an old seam stick and a seam pounder that we made our Pendleton suits out of and our wool suits. I keep this handy because we're going to do a little prep work first. And then there's this gizmo. This is our hump jumper, Gina Majig. You can still purchase them today. Some sewing machine manufacturers include them. This may have been in your accessory tray for the last 30 years and you have no clue how to use it. It's to help you with those heavy seams. Trust me, I'm going to show you how easy it is to use. It's pretty cool. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put on our imagination hat and pretend this is a pair of very heavy blue jeans. This is our nice little welt right here. The first thing you're going to do is take this to your ironing board, and you're going to lay it on your ironing board, and you're going to steam the daylights out of it. Pss, 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 lots of steam, lots of steam. You're going to take your little presser here, your press banger, ham, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to whack the daylights out of it. If you've had a bad day at work, it's now the time to press your jeans. Just pound the daylights out of it and get all that moisture out of your jeans. If you don't have one of these, a 2x4. And I'm not saying what you need the 2x4 for, but just keep it in your sewing room. So pound the moisture out of that seam. And what that does is that breaks down the fibers that's built up in all 10 layers of that crazy welt that you've got going on. So it makes it very easy for you to sew through. So you're going to take this to your sewing machine. You have two thicknesses of your little hump jumper, and one thickness matches up whatever thickness your welt is. You have a thick side and a thin side. So when I take this to the sewing machine, I'm going to start out my hem, and we're going to fold this up, and I'm just going to use a straight stitch here, and of course that's what you're going to be using too. And this is a little heavier weight fabric, so I'm going to use a stitch length of around 3, and I have a heavy needle in here. And just before I get to that heavy welt, I'm going to slide, let me get a little closer. Just before my needle gets into the welt, the heavy part goes underneath my foot, just like that. Now I go nice and slow. Nobody in their right mind can do a Dale Earnhardt and zip right over this welt. Best thing to do is sew by hand to make sure it goes through there. And trust me, this is my sewing by hand, by the way. It's the only thing I do is turn the hand wheel. You can go nice and slow and go through it. Just before my needle plops off the other side of the mountain, I take this, turn it around, put it in front. Now what that's doing is that is offsetting the height of my foot against the height of the welt. And no, don't sew through it. You're going to sew so far. Pull it out. And continue sewing. And just when you get to the other side, you now have a perfectly sewn welt. This is about 8 layers of denim right here, But the best part is there is no big honking jump stitch between here and here on either side that you normally get. You don't have to run and get your hot glue gun to finish hemming right here. Just a few simple steps. And if your sewing machine doesn't do it after you've whacked it with lots of steam and a piece of 2x4 and with your Jeanamajig and your little hump jumper, then go to visit your dealer and ask in person how you can do this. Maybe you're missing something. Maybe it's time for a new machine. Who knows? This is your sewing room solution.